ever considered how a family member or someone you know who is blind, deaf, or has limited mobility uses the internet? If not, don't worry, you are not alone. Many people never stop to think about it. Picture this: you finally find the perfect website to apply for your dream job. But the moment you try to fill out the form, you hit the wall. The buttons aren't labeled, the tabbing order is a mess, and nothing seems to work. Now imagine someone who is visually impaired. This isn't just frustrating, it's a complete dead end. And the harsh reality? Millions of people face this digital barrier every single day. But digital barriers are not a result of human disabilities, but are man made obstacles. Then it's our responsibility to break them down and create a truly accessible digital world for all. Hi, I'm Param Singh, a certified professional in web accessibility, and I'm here to talk about something we often overlook but desperately need to address: web accessibility. What it is, why it matters, and the legal standards surrounding it. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you will understand what WCAG is and how it can help make your website fully compliant. Web accessibility isn't just about making things easier for people with disability. It's about inclusion. But here's the reality: over 1 billion people live with some form of disability. The majority of websites today are filled with barriers that exclude other users. Imagine not being able to order pizza online, or book a movie, or even read the cricket scores. It's not just frustrating, it's isolating. By the way, are you following the Border Gavaskar Trophy series between India and Australia? Comment yes if you are. And then there's the business side. Companies that fail to meet accessibility standards risk not only isolating potential customers but also facing legal consequences. But more on that in a moment. So, why does this happen? Is it ignorance, lack of resources, or just not knowing where to start? In many cases, it's all three. Designers and developers often focus on making websites visually appealing and functional, but they miss one critical aspect: accessibility. But here's the thing: what if I told you that making a website accessible not only helps people with disabilities, but also improves usability for everyone? For example, captions for videos don't just help people who are deaf, they are lifesaver for us when watching a video in a noisy cafe. Clear navigation isn't just good for screen readers, it's better for everyone, including search engines like Google. If you're finding this eye-opening so far, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with your team or colleagues because together we can make internet a better place for everyone. Accessibility is no longer just a moral obligation, it's a legal requirement too. Let's break down the key standards in United States and India and why failing to meet them can have serious consequences. The Americans with Disabilities Act is a civil rights law enacted in 1990 to prevent discrimination against individuals with disabilities. While initially focused on physical spaces, its interpretation has expanded to include digital spaces like websites and mobile apps. US courts have consistently ruled that websites are considered places of public accommodation, and Department of Justice supports the use of Web Content Accessibility Guidelines as the benchmark for digital accessibility compliance, which we will discuss in details in few moments. In India, the Right of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 mandates accessibility across digital platforms, ensuring equal opportunities for people with disabilities. In India, non-compliancy can result in fines up to 5 lakh rupees and other legal actions. Repeated violations can lead to imprisonment for responsible officials. So how do we make your website compliant with these laws? Enter WCAG, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, specifically by its Web Accessibility Initiative, is a set of international standards designed to make digital content accessible to people with disabilities. They serve as a roadmap for organizations to ensure their websites, applications, and digital tools are inclusive. WCAG is not just about compliance, it's about empowering all users, including those with visual, auditory, cognitive, or physical disabilities, to interact with your digital content seamlessly. Let me break it down for you. At its heart, WCAG revolves around four foundational principles, known by the acronym POWER. Perceivable. In simple terms, a user should be able to see, hear, or feel your content. Example, text alternatives for images. Operable. A user must be able to operate the interface. For example, using a keyboard for navigation for users who cannot use a mouse. Understandable. Information and operation of the user interface must be understandable. Example, providing clear error messages. And robust. Content must be robust enough to be used by a wide variety of user agents, operating systems, and assistive technology. Then come the guidelines. WCAG consists of 13 guidelines under the four principles, providing actionable advice on making content accessible. These guidelines are further broken into 78 success criteria that define specific, measurable accessibility standards. For example, success criteria 1.4.3 contrast minimum requires us to ensure text has enough contrast against its background for readability, especially for users with visual impairment. The requirement for normal text is to have 4.5:1 color contrast, and for visual elements such as buttons at a minimum contrast ratio of 3:1. I know it seems overwhelming, but the good news is that you don't have to remember all the success criteria numbers, but you must be aware of them. As you make web accessibility a part of your daily routine, you will develop the muscle memory. Lastly, we have conformance level. Level A, the basic level of accessibility that addresses the most critical issues, such as providing alt text to informational images or making your website accessible. Next, we have AA, which is the mid-range level, addressing the most common accessibility barriers that impact users. This is the standard most organizations aim for. Examples include color contrast and labeling input fields. Furthermore, we have level AAA, the highest level, providing the most comprehensive accessibility standards. Think of it as climbing the Mount Everest, which everyone cannot do because it's very challenging to achieve. Following WCAG 2.1 AA ensures that your digital assets meet ADA standards, reducing the risk of lawsuits, improving user experience, and expanding your audience reach. You might be wondering, why should you care? Adopting WCAG standards goes beyond compliancy. It mitigates legal risks, avoiding potential lawsuits and penalties. The US saw over 4,000 web accessibility lawsuits filed in 2024 alone. Settling a lawsuit can range from $15,000 to $100,000 or more. Expand market reach. 1 billion people worldwide live with disabilities. Ignoring accessibility limits your audience. 13 trillion annually. Yes, 13 trillion. According to the World Economic Forum, the global disability community, including people with disabilities and their families, represent a spending power of $13 trillion. Boost brand reputation. Web accessibility demonstrates your commitment to inclusivity and fostering consumer loyalty. Fourth, improves usability for all. Accessibility features like captions and keyboard navigation benefits everyone. So stop fearing WCAG because it's your key to making your website ADA compliant. The internet is a powerful tool. It connects us, informs us, and entertains us. But when it's inaccessible, it becomes a barrier instead of a bridge. You, my dear friend, have the power to change that. Whether you are a developer, a business owner, or just someone who cares, you can make a difference. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe to my channel for more actionable insights on web accessibility. And let's make the web a more inclusive place together. This is Param Singh signing off. Until next time, keep learning, keep testing, and keep making the web accessible for all.